Myself, Puneet Singh, and I'd like to thank IIM Community for giving me this opportunity to help out my fellow peers. And today, I will try to address some of the interview questions that you can expect as part of the TPM interviews. And of course, I'll also try to give you some tips to face product interviews. But first, let us understand what the TPM role is all about. TPM is an interesting role as it falls at the intersection of business and technology. Essentially, it requires skills of both product management as well as a sound technical knowledge. TPMs help drive company strategy, align teams, collaborate with cross-functional stakeholders, and deliver on multiple complex projects. I would say it's a good career path for all management students who are having some previous IT experience under their belt. So I started working as a TPM in Expedia, where I was managing Expedia Cruise platform, which exclusively caters to global customers, giving them an omni-channel experience for booking cruises. Working as a technical product manager, you act as a bridge between business stakeholders and technical engineering teams. Therefore, one needs to have not only good understanding of business priorities, but also of the technical aspects, such as the technical architecture and process workflows. Now, let us start with some of the popular questions you can expect in such interviews. First one, and the most important one, how to lay groundwork before actually going to an interview. Now, before going for any product manager or a technical product manager interview, understand in depth about the product that the company is using, on which you are interviewing for. Understand it in details, gather that data around same, and prepare some use cases like how can you improve the product or enhance the product feature, or what is your take on your product. And as the interviewer is likely to frame his questions around all these kind of things. A good book around same that I personally used is that, it's a little old one, but still is one of the best books, is How to Crack the PM Interviews. So it offers some really good insights, especially on the interview parts. Now, a tip regarding same, so prepare your intros correctly, as it is likely that the role and responsibilities you share initially in the introduction will be actually used to shape the questions, the initial questions. So the tip is that play on your strength so that you make good initial impression. And please don't fake. If you don't have real experience in managing a product, as in some points, so the interviewer is likely to catch them, in the future rounds. Believe me, I'm saying from my experience that they are real experts. If you don't have industry experience, talk about your pet projects that you might have worked on. Now, second one, and the most important one, how will an interviewer might ask you, how are you going to manage an XYZ product, assuming you are the CEO? So this is actually a trick question, as it is a popular myth associated with this role, that being a product manager, you are solely responsible to take decisions like a CEO, and you have the final say about which features or changes will go into production or which will be prioritized. But in fact, reality is slightly different, as PM role take the final decision, but it is a data informed and analytical decision based on the inputs from different stakeholders, engineering teams, market conditions, etc. This is in fact one of the biggest challenge for a product manager role, as he is more of a servant leader, and every stakeholder pushes him to release his or her feature first. And every feature is top priority for a particular stakeholder. Therefore, a PM must use his analytical skills to segregate different features and should be able to create a prioritized list of such features, which we often refer to as product backlog. So that it actually becomes easier to pick what will go next into the next iteration. Now, there are several techniques and frameworks that we actually use to get this prioritized list of features, such as Moscow method, rice scoring, etc. Maybe I can talk about those in another session. Now, before going to the interviews, you must have data points ready. Some real life scenarios of problems and use cases that you have faced, and in which you have actually shown your PM skills. Here you can take help from your network. Try connecting with your peers who are in similar roles. Gather such examples which you can mold and use them as your own personal examples. There are some very good groups available on LinkedIn, like Product Buds, Pragmatic Leader, etc. So you can follow them, as they often post lectures and interviews from product managers across the industry, as well as informative sessions such as product teardowns. Now, another tip, for the interview, you have to be a good communicator, both verbal and in writing. Interviews, especially looking out for the same. This is in fact a very important, as being in the role of TPM, you are going to attend tons of meetings. You are going to attend meetings with developers, with UI designers, engineering managers, internal and external stakeholders, and sometimes you might also get a chance to interact directly with customers as well. So it is going to fall on you to not only understand their requirement clearly, but also to communicate same to different teams. Not only these conversations happen verbally, but most of the times they are via mails. Therefore, you have to be good at documenting the information, as you never know when a stakeholder is going to catch you for an update. For them, you are the face of the product, and it is you who is responsible in case there is an issue with the final version of the feature. Also, work on sharpening your communication skills, as you might have an excellent idea and approach, but it is futile if you don't communicate it to the interviewer. So polish your speaking and presentation skills. I would recommend Toastmasters. It is actually a fantastic platform if you want to be a good communicator. And plus, it gives you good network too, to connect to different professionals. Now, next question, which is most likely you are going to be asked, is that, you're going to be asked on some technical question based on agile methodologies and frameworks. Popularly, a framework which we use is Scrum. So this is one of the most important aspect of a TPM role. That you have to have knowledge of agile methodologies. Frameworks like Scrum and SAFe are in high demand in industries, and almost every company managing a digital product is either running on agile or it is transitioning into same. Therefore, a TPM must be well versed in agile, as the product life cycle is actually driven by these agile methodologies. So a key learning which comes from agile is that never rush a feature just because there is pressure from your stakeholders without proper testing. It is okay, to push a deadline, as after all, we live in practical world with real people working on a product, not machines which give 100% efficiency. There will be use cases when you are going to miss your deadline, and as a TPM, you will always keep your stakeholder apprised of the impediments rather than hiding them and giving them false hope and pushing dev teams to deliver the fix urgently. There will always be trade-offs to be made. To deliver something urgently, you have to deprioritize something else. There are several courses available and certification, which are very helpful in honing your agile skill. Personally, I will recommend everyone to grab the latest copy of Scrum Guide online, and it is available free of cost over scrum.org, and it is very helpful in understanding the basics of Scrum framework. Now, the next question, how to handle the takeaway assignments. So you might also be given assignments, to complete in one of the rounds of interview. They usually give you a few days to complete same. Many companies are following that approach these days. They are actually testing candidates' thinking capability, their innovative capability, thinking out of the box, as well as their tactical ability to handle complex problems. My suggestion: don't copy paste solutions or strategies you find online on internet, as interviews always run these solutions for plagiarism, but rather take help from your peers who are actually working in similar domain, or they have worked in have some prior experience in managing products. Consult them for approach, and incorporate their ideas, and then combined you can devise a solution to that assignment. Try to give it a fresh perspective, not the trial and tested one. Try to come up with something from your own perspective. Also, one thing to note down here, don't go in too technical. Often people ask me whether coding knowledge is essential for this role. The answer to it is that, coding knowledge is essentially not required for this role. But definitely an experience in coding helps with interaction with engineering teams, as they are mostly comprised of developers and technical architects. As often, TPMs help in breaking down business problems into smaller technical tasks so that it is actually the dev teams who can work on them. Now, one of the last steps from my side, for today's session. So network, network, and network. Believe me, it is the best way to learn and grow. I'm saying this from my personal experience. So the Airtel will be my 6 companies, and out of these 6 companies for which I've worked on, I have got three offers out of internal referrals, which I have got from my personal and professional network. Hiring scenario has completely changed, and recruiters are actually preferring candidates via referral. So do connect with your colleagues, friend, and alumni, and have a good rapport with them, so that when you find an opportunity on job portal, don't just blindly rush and apply to it directly, but instead look if you have a connection with someone, so someone who might be working in that company, or who can put in a reference for you. It really helps you in getting that interview, and it also helps in getting an insight on the role that you are actually applying for, and you can also understand about the company culture from the person whom you are connecting with. So that will be all from my side for today. I hope the info or rather gyan that I shared today would help you in shaping your career. If you have any doubts or any questions or suggestions, or if you need any personalized career advice, you can always reach out to me via LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to connect with you. So guys, all the best. I like to end with my favorite line. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Stay safe, take care of yourself. Thank you.